Harry Knox is director of the Religion and Faith Program at the Human Rights Campaign, the nation's largest lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender advocacy organization. Harry is a graduate of Lancaster Theological Seminary in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and is honored to have received his Distinguished Alumni Award, the Robert V. Moss Award for Excellence in Ministry, in 2005. He is a member of First Congregational United Church of Christ in Washington, D.C., and celebrated his 26-year-long crush on his partner, Mike Bozeman, this Valentine's Day today.
Gay community. Finally, it just sounds tinny in the ear for all of us. We know manipulation when we hear it. These issues have been manipulated for political gain by the Republican Party and some Democrats. It has been manipulated by pastors who want to talk about this over and over and over and over again and not one other thing. They are obsessed with sex, and yet they don't want to talk about sexuality and what a healthy sexual life can be with God's help and with the help of the community. I'm like Justice Potter Stewart was about pornography. I know it when I see it. And I know someone who is trying to manipulate an issue to gain political gain of some kind or power of some kind at my expense. And folks that are just focused on this all the time, over and over and over again, and are not taking on the larger issues of justice, I've got to tell you, listen carefully to what they say and count how often they say it. And then begin to draw your own conclusions about whose side they're on. Are they mounting power for themselves, or are they really seeking God's justice?
So now you get a question. Okay, here's your question, Harry. Every religious denomination, I don't mean just Christian, every religious denomination decides what constitutes acceptable and unacceptable behavior. Rules, if you wish. And generally, they limit membership in that denomination to those who accept the rules. So, if a certain group of Christians decides that in their particular denomination that men aren't allowed to have sex with men, what's the problem? I mean, why can't you let these congregations make their own rules, worship together with whomever they please? And at the same time, why can't men who have sex with men form their own churches that are welcoming and affirming, as in fact so many lesbian, gay, transgender, and bisexual communities have already done? In social, if not in political settings, why isn't separate, if equal, politically acceptable?
Well, it is happily in the United States of America still under our Constitution true. Did you hear all those clauses on the way to true? It is still true that each denomination and each local church has the right to believe whatever it chooses to do so. And thanks be to God, the framers of our Constitution were wise enough to put us in that position so that we can agree to disagree. It is also true that those churches are not in this nation supposed to be telling the rest of us what to do and making laws based on those religious beliefs. Their morality should be informing the government, but the government should never be imposing morality as it understands it on its people. That's just not the way the system is supposed to work. But right now, we are doing that in this country. And there is a real movement afoot to create a theocracy in the United States of America, to have right-wing fundamentalist Christians control the government of the United States. You see it in the debates in the Republican primaries right now. You've heard it for 8 years. It's getting worse and worse and worse. They really do want to tell all of us how to believe and how to act and how to live on a moment-to-moment basis. And if you think they will stop with homosexuality,